Welcome to the Buck Stops here, the official podcast of NotInHallOfFame.com, and I'm your host, The Buck, Kirk Buchner, owner-operator of NotInHallOfFame.com and its fun sites, the fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame and the fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Give those a shot when you can. Today we're going to look back again at the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2019, and I've got with me a special guest, former USFL player Steve "Do It To It" Cox. Also a former pro wrestler, and I had a chance to talk to him about what his thoughts are on this new class, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. I certainly enjoyed it. It deviated many times, but frankly, I loved every deviation. All right, here's Steve Cox. A mutual friend of mine from that, and we have to sort of like do a shout out before, because that's how we know each other. So we're going to dedicate this podcast to the late great Chavo Guerrero Sr. I've got a beer in hand, and I've got with me Steve Cox.
Chavo, baby, I had to do that. That's for our boy. I tell you what, I've heard that call many times. That's a battle call right there. I'm telling you. I didn't catch you off guard there, but
anyway, it's all good. It's all good. I love it. So, Steve, a former wrestler, but I'm talking with him today not about his wrestling career. Steve was the captain of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane team. And what years was that, Steve?
1982. Let's see. John Cooper was a head coach. You might know him from Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And then my offensive coordinator was John Coker, who ended up winning a national championship at the University of Miami.
Oh, okay.
And we had some quality coaches. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And let's see, Bill Young. He's a well-known defense coordinator, been around forever and a day. And just some great coaches. And we was actually University of Tulsa's first 10-win team. This was back in '82. So back in the day. So yes, that's my claim to fame.
Well, and not just that. You professionally, you were in the USFL. You were drafted by New Jersey, but you wound up in Michigan. How did that happen?
Well, again, God, a lot of things happen. I got drafted by the USFL. We're all down in Orlando, and it was just kind of a blend of a bunch of rookies and some castaways. And I was with New Jersey Generals, and we go out to practice, and there'd be about two old ladies walking their dogs, and some people watching a little bit. And then, but I was there when they signed Herschel Walker. But the neat part prior to that is there was two guys. Remember, who's the guy on ESPN who goes that back, that commentator?
Oh, you're talking Chris Berman?
Yeah. Well, Berman and the other guy, he was got real big with ESPN. He ended up drowning in his pool or whatever. Well, ESPN was there. Well, everybody sitting around going, who the hell is going to watch sports for 24 hours a day? This when ESPN was just coming out. So this tells you what we knew. So anyway, we signed Herschel. Herschel Walker comes in, and we go from like 2 to 3 people to 5 to 10,000 people all the time. I mean, it was just crazy, the people there. And then the organizations, well, the USFL and the New Jersey Generals pretty much mandated we only talk to ESPN because they're the only people that really give us any clout, But yeah, Chris Berman, what's the other guy's name? Anyway, but it was hilarious because we're all sitting around going, this is different. I tell you, back in the day, it's 1983, 84. And actually, that's where I first met Dr. Steve Williams.
Oh, okay.
He had signed with the General to leverage Bill Watts, and then I think Doc was only in there about 10 days, and Bill bought him, you know what I'm saying? Mm. And then Doc went back and started running UWF with Bill. But, I played with some phenomenal guys. Flutie was the quarterback there. But what happened was I got cut. I made the last cut, and I got cut because I was a small offensive lineman. And really what happened at the University of Tulsa, coming out of high school as a 2-time All-State linebacker, I won state wrestling, and I blew my knee out. And this was when the beer was coming in, and instead of getting arrested, I was already been arrested. They moved me to right guard. Ended up doing really well, and Cooper called me in and goes, I got a shitload of linebackers, but I don't have a pulling guard like you, and I beat up. And didn't want to play there, but I did. That's when I go to USFL as a small lineman. Well, the offensive line coach for the Michigan Panthers just got fired at the University of Kansas, KU, because they couldn't beat the University of Tulsa. We kicked the dog shit out of everybody that year. And he brought me in, was Stevens. And I came in and got to have John Coker, Bobby Hebert was the quarterback, Anthony Carter was the receiver. You know, I go down the list of people, and Jim Stanley was the head coach. Jim Stanley was one of those guys, you know, the Bear Bryant story where he went out in the desert with 100 and some guys, came back with 22 guys. And Stanley was one of those guys, just fucking old school, hardcore dude, man. I mean, he's just hardcore kind of guy. So anyway, that's how I ended up sticking up there, just because there was 2/3 of our team was all Michigan guys, and a third of us were all from actually Oklahoma State, over Tulsa, all that stuff. So that's how I ended up staying there. But God, you know, I ended up playing. Almost 27 games in 10 months. You know what I'm saying? In 10 months, I played a lot of ball. Kind of beat shit. And then I left there, and then I went to. That's where I met. We're going to be talking about Gil Bryant. He actually signed me with the Oklahoma Outlaws.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the Hall of Famers that we wanted to talk about. Gil Bryant in for his scouting, and so you've got a personal relationship with him.
I'll send it to you. I got a picture with him signing me and my friend Gil Bryant signing us. You know, we were one of the first guys brought in under contract. You know, playing at the University of Tulsa. You know, we brought in Doug Williams was our quarterback. Mm-hmm. We had some, you know, USFL. God dang, if they'd have kept it, you know, I guess Trump wouldn't have fucked it up. You know, but think about where spring football would be right now. Because when I was with, the Michigan Panthers, we were selling more tickets at the Silver Dome than Detroit Lions were.
Oh, were you really? I didn't know that.
And oh yeah, we're drawing 60,000 people. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the USFL really were popping off some crowds in the right markets. You know, it was hilarious because the Lions they had some Lion guys there. Anyway, some of our guys got in a fight with some of the Lions. And a bunch of guys flew into this shit. They had a freaking knockdown drag out in the back, like, old school, fuck you, let's go. And
I can't imagine you getting into a fight like that.
Oh, yeah. It was, a bunch of lunkheads. It was back in the day, you threw, you know what I mean? It ain't like nowadays they see shit through. We got to worry about a video camera, but it was hilarious. I signed with the Outlaws, and what family? Anyway, he told me to help something there. Anyway, I ended up getting traded to Memphis, and I played behind Reggie and next to Sam Mills, and I got hurt pretty good. And I just said, "Piss on it, I'm done." But it's fun. And think about it, I played next to Sam Mills and behind Reggie White, linebacker. That was a blast. Hell, you couldn't. I was making tackles left and right, but back in the day, Reggie White was a freak of nature, and he was only 280. You know what I mean? Nowadays, those cats are 320, 340. It's moved like Reggie. You know what I'm saying?
What did you play at 260?
No, I played about 245.
Okay.
I jet 4.64. I was 4.7 every now and then 4.6. You know what I'm saying? I could move. I was a really good athlete. And you got to realize I was an outstanding wrestler in high school. I boxed 5 years, Golden Gloves, that kind of shit. So in the locker room, I could pretty well handle myself against anybody. And it really paid off getting into the wrestling game. Back in my day, they were whack. These guys nowadays, well, if you get to New York and all that, or for people that don't know, back in the day it used to be called New York, now it's WWE, but there's some crazy ass son of a bitch, especially when I was over in Japan, like Gary Albright, and then you get Vader come rolling through and some people. But anyway, that's kind of it. That's my football story there. But that's how I met Gil Bryant. I had opportunities to a lot of great players. John Hamill, the Marino played in there. Doug Flutie. I've seen some very phenomenal players, but we're all young. The difference between the NFL and us was we were 85%. Young guys, the pros, you got all those vets. I remember we were playing Tampa Bay. This referee well, both teams hooked up. We did a bunch of cocaine and whiskey and drinking all night. Nobody got no sleep. The team did sleep. We were all on the field and we're reeking of booze and was playing like shit. You sure this referee just going on, you're fucking embarrassment to the game. I mean, this is a head referee. Fucking drunk ass bastard out here fucking slopping around. He's going off, losing his shit. And, everybody's like, oh, God, which he should have been. But it was a great lesson for all of us, everybody got fined and cleaned up pretty quick. But just a lot of young guys with a lot of money. Because, the USFL was paying pretty good. That's really what bumped up the NFL. They got real competitive. So, but anyway.
I can just imagine that in the YouTube era.
What's that?
I can just imagine sort of like what you just described happening in the YouTube era.
Oh, God dang. Oh, shit. Oh, the crap we did in bars. Oh, Jesus. I've literally seen guys literally having first fucking girls on a pool table in the bar. You know what I'm saying? Crazy shit. And this before, you had to have game back then to get a bitch to do that on a pool table. Nowadays, these girls all grew up on porn. It's pretty easy to do. But shit back then, you're like, shit. It was like...
Okay, so remind me when you come up to visit me or when I go to visit there. Yeah, maybe we're not going to a bar.
Yeah, well, I've toned down a lot. I'm 59 and got 2 fake hips, but the nice part is I'm legally on steroids and a growth hormone. And hell, I got in great shape back and everything else. So I'm in pretty good shape again. But yeah, I see that. I don't want to be on camera. Grandpa, is that you?
I had dad bod at 18, so I'm a physical wreck.
Oh, okay, I got you. But yeah, it was like that. Down in New Orleans, some preacher got fired. He worked naval ships. Screwed a girl on a pool table down on the street. And back in the day, that's pretty normal. I see that a bunch.
I can't even imagine. My life did not sort of go that direction at all.
Oh, well, the thing of it is the jump from like what is on eBay? It wasn't tough, because most of those guys out there playing potentials, either some type of sport, but it was just just jock city all the way across, crazy stuff every night. And I think no matter what, because a lot of guys died in that business. I went through rehab. A lot of guys had a lot of personal issues. But I swear to God, every guy should experience that to know what it's like to have too much cocaine, too much pussy, too much booze. And it's weird, like on the pussy thing, you're like a woman. You know how guys, we got to walk up, try to bump up on the women. Women will come up, and we're not talking like ugly. I'm talking everything from, I seen Miss USA been over in a locker room in St. Louis. Miss USA, and she was engaged, and her fiance was standing outside the locker room. Kerry Von Erich had the bitch bent over. You know what I'm saying? Not just everything from, I've been part of down the Cowboy cheerleaders, the crazy shit. But anyway, I think every guy should go do that.
Yeah, well, not all of us are athletes, Steve. I pretty much had to beg for everything I got.
That's what I'm saying. It is just bizarre. It's weird. Especially when I was on TV all the time, women just, God, it was bizarre. You know what I'm saying? How they just come up and
no, I don't know. I never had that.
It's bizarre. I used to be standing there going, "You talking to me? Are you me? What? Aren't you Steve Cox?" I'm like, "No," but it was just crazy.
I love where this conversation is going. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's just crazy, especially down there with the Von Erich. I see some crazy shit. But that's all sort of. We'll talk football though, but
I don't know that I want to talk football anymore. This is far more interesting.
Crazy.
Well, I'll name a few other guys who got chosen. I would love to get your take on that. So, Champ Bailey has been chosen, defensive back, first year eligible, first year in. Any issues with that, or you like that?
Well, no, I think it's good. And just tell you, those skill guys,
Mm-hmm.
and, he's kind of at that transitional where, when Miles Davis brought in all that air out, really the pass game came on, and now we got your RPOs, run pass options, and stuff like that in today's game. But, for a guy to go in his first trial like that, just tell you how good he is, and, how respected he is, just not among his peers, but owners, everybody else, in the game. So that's pretty phenomenal. Because actually I'm coaching with a guy back with Tony Peters. He played at OU and Cincinnati. He actually played in the Super Bowl with John Wiggins and them. And, and it's pretty neat to listen to him talk about, setups and all that, being a defensive back and the way he used to try to play it. And he's from back in that era. If you run across their area, they'd decapitate you. You can't hit like that nowadays. And I think that's really a good thing. It really takes away from highlights. These guys, at the end of the day, everybody wants to live nice old age, so that's a good thing,
And football's still popular, so, I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, I mean, it's not quite the same, but, I'd rather have, the people I've sort of, looked up to, or I guess now that I'm much older, the people that I'm watching, I do want them to sort of live longer, healthy lives, and it's still a great game. What...
Yeah.
I want to segue actually with you, Steve.
Talk,
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, we had that talk. I've talked to a lot of guys, former players, and all that stuff, caliber. None of them ever had a concussion protocol. We didn't know what the shit that was.
Right.
And, now it's coming to fruition, And, I say that because, I got some helmets I played with. They're up in my, my man room trying to show up. But, my oldest boy, well, I had two sons that are outstanding football players, but I'm glad they didn't play in college. It's like, shit, Dad. They're scarred up, mangled up. Because we live with our heads. We've done, almost a wall body and that kind of thing. But anyway, that's just kind of a sidebar. I think the game's headed the right way. And then you see that play kept the Saints out of the Super Bowl.
No, we're not talking about that. I'm a Saints fan. No, we're not.
No. Well, no, it makes you wonder, as much money, and then, your TV markets, the powers that be going, set it up where they go, I just can't. I play the game. I can't see it happening, but, you can't help but get conspiracy theories.
It's crossed my mind.
But anyway, yeah.
Although, I wonder, though, if they could have marketed a Breeze versus Brady Super Bowl even better. But, I mean, it did cross my mind.
No, actually, yeah. Well, that kid at KC, God dang, what a stud he is.
Oh, my God, yes. Mahomes.
It's unreal. That kid, and what, he just signed a $100 million contract? Sounds crazy, but, they're crazy not to. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, no, for
That's
sure.
That's a lot of money, but
before we go to the next player, who are you a professional fan of? Because you grew up in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah. No, I was a big Steelers fan.
Oh.
Like everybody else back in there. Big. And I've actually, when I left the USFL, I signed with Steelers and actually went there and all that. I'm not got that kind of juice and shit. Back then they were, God, those guys were 6 foot tall, 6'1". And I've got it in because look what I have. Who's a center there, but. They all were just steroided up, And, that's kind of like the steroid area, you know what I mean? But don't get me wrong, I used juice, but it was just for rehabbing and stuff, And then I just worked out. I just, God dang, they were like stacking and they're showing me all this shit. I'm like, yeah. That's why I didn't want to do it. That's what literally when I got up and walked out, I just can't do this no more.
Was the Steelers the only team you signed with or tried out for in the NFL?
No. Yeah, I literally got signed. They wanted to bring in, and it was kind of prototype. Well, God, who's the other guy? He played at OSU. I got to know him at the gym. I wish I'd have known a little bit more. Anyway, they brought me in, and they liked all that, but I had to put on 40 pounds. And their idea of 40 pounds, I was like, well, maybe I hit 20 or, you know what I mean? No, they wanted 40 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And what they liked was, Terry's that size. If your lineman can hold everybody out and they're 6 foot 6'1", Bradshaw he was killing it, And, that's the trouble nowadays. These linemen are so big, you know. You got that new kid up at Cincinnati out of Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield, you know what I'm saying? He's only 5, he's barely, he's probably right under 6 foot tall. But what's happened, quarterbacks today, that run pass option that they run, they're moving the pocket all the time and they float a lot more with it, just a stand up quarterback. But yeah, that was a little different. Great guys, don't get me wrong, but in the end they all had to pay the piper. They're all beat up pretty good.
You were talking Kansas City, so like a great one of the new inductees. No shock here. Tony Gonzales got in.
Yeah,
definitely the greatest offensive skill tight end ever.
Yeah, but he's kind of like that first real tight end. They kind of like shit. Look at Kronk. I mean, everybody's gonna go. We want a guy like that, and everybody's on the hunt. You get these guys to come in and kind of set that prototype. Like this is what we want. And on the upside it's good, but on the downside there might be a 6-foot guy that could do the same thing, but he's going to get overlooked just paper. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize again, in the NFL, was there 1,500 jobs? I mean, there's only 1,500 people in the whole wide world to go pro football player. And so they're very limited on their scope. But look at the guy that just got MVP. He didn't get a major scholarship, and he worked his way in. But really, he should be overlooked and never been seen in the Super Bowl. Who's that receiver that got MVP this past
Edelman.
In England? Edelman. But, you look at all his credentials, where he's from and all this, he shouldn't be there. But here's the other side of it, though. There's probably 5,000 guys that are just like him out there, but they'll never get a look. Literally just like him. And one thing about America, we crank out ball players. We crank out basketball players. We got some top flight talent. But, when you get to the top, it's very limited. I don't know what the NBA is. Guys to a roster. So there's a lot of talent there, and a lot of things got to happen for you to get there. Yeah, the bottom line is they're still probably the best guys on the field overall.
Funny that you say that. Like I remember actually watching Gonzales a lot more in college because he was a two-sport. He played basketball too.
Yeah.
So I remember him watching him in the tournament at UCLA.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. He's a phenomenal. But they all went out. That's where they started. And I seen it. Where they started going out and getting basketball guys. Look just like him, will make a football player. And, that's not a bad idea. And a lot of those guys can really adapt and do well. You know what I'm saying? Because they're good athletes. Out of all the sports, football requires the least amount of athleticism. I've seen a lot of guys play 1 or 2 years in high school. They even got guys in the NFL. One lineman, he was a wrestler, a heavyweight wrestler in college. Real good wrestler, though. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you get it consistently down, it's difficult work. Now, what makes it difficult, is just being able to, they call that savvy, that IQ. Start seeing shit, your mind, click here. You know what I'm saying? And by the end of my career, I knew within 2 steps, 3, I could go through every step where everybody's at, what they're doing, what the reads are. They get that in depth. When you're in those training rooms and you watch film, and now that's run pass options. Quarterbacks got the option that they show run. If these guys make a certain move or that, it goes right to pass. Or if they read pass and he got the option to go run. They just they made the option. It's big right now. And both in the NFL was a little different than college, but they try to do it in high school, but it's clusterfuck. Nobody can read right. You got about 3 guys that can read, and the rest are just clueless. They just go to the ball,
So what did you think of the Super Bowl this year?
I thought it was great, just because I say that and you see this so many times, especially like the Rams. It's supposed to be this offensive guru and all that. It's almost like I thought Coach Peters, he's the guy that played in the NFL with the Redskins in a Super Bowl. Reagan's and them, but the very team that got the Rams to the big dance, it's almost like they threw it all out. They're going to surprise Belichick. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to surprise that guy. You're not going to surprise that crew. You know what I'm saying? There's no fucking surprise. You might as well just stay with what got you there. And really, the Rams, they're real good about setting up, a lot of run and then play action pass and stuff like that. Shake and bake and all kinds of movement. It's just season. They're like they forgot what they got up there. You know, they just didn't do it, and for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying. I can't tell the backstory, but I've seen it where it's like you look at your OC going, you know, what the hell? Why are you calling this shit? We're not even good at this shit. You know, you got to get all them guys going, what the shit? And, you know, and you saw a lot of that. And, you know, on the flip side, the defense coordinator for the Rams did a hell of a job. But it just goes to show you, you know that pass between, Brady and Gronk, you got three top flight athletes.
Right.
All around Gronk. Brady just kind of, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of in there, floated it in, and Gronk just one-handed it, drawn in goal line position. And, phenomenal. Then you see the Rams guy, alley-oops, will pop up. They get in. You see what I'm saying? It's just different. New England made the most of everything. Rams just, they just couldn't. They missed, that guy never missed a field goal. See stuff like that. They just don't do that. And when you do that, you don't win. And when you don't win, you know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah. No, I was watching. Yeah, I was watching it with some casual fans, and they were getting bored. And I'm thinking, because they're not understanding defense. And then I'm thinking, like, God, when I was a kid watching, like, every Super Bowl in the '80s or in the '90s was a blowout. You have no idea how good you have it right now.
Well, yeah. See, I was at a watch party, and like you, the only people watching were guys I played either college or pro ball with. There was 8 of us sitting there. 8 of guys literally sitting there going, and once we started cheering about shit and going off and this, they were trying to catch up with what we were saying. Because I tell you what, in that box, what the box, inside where all the linemen are, tight end to tight end, linebacker to, them fuckers were beating the shit out of each other. They were fucking going at it like crazy. I mean, it was like crazy the way they're beating the fuck out of each other. I mean, it was, I can't describe. They were cut loose because you got Sue in there, right? And then the other guy, Sue's a badass swinging big defensive tackle. Fuck, they're running 2-3 guys in his ass just to beat the fuck out of the guy. Like, look, because if they went up against Sue 1-on-1 or a little half-ass, chip block double team, Sue was fucking throwing shit, doing stupid shit. Really, that level. The only reason I say stupid, you don't want to turn the temperature up on that level of offensive lineman where they're like, fuck you, we're coming after you. And that was happening. And nobody, it took, we had to point that out for everybody. Like, look at this, hands in the face, they're digging in, they're trying to rip the fucker's head off or grab a shit.
All right, so 2 years from now, you're coming to watch it with me in the Barbados. How's that sound?
I'll tell you, Sue was fuck. Sue and a few other guys got the Rams there where they're at, though.
Mm-hmm.
I give the Rams credit for bringing those type of guys in, But anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm like you, and we had a bunch of other people just socializing off all in this other area,
Well, they were all waiting for Maroon 5.
Yeah. Oh, that was sweet.
Think so?
I like the fuck out of the show. He got a lot of hits,
No, I'm talking the halftime show.
Yeah.
The halftime show. I had a lot of people looking forward to see Maroon 5, and then they were all disappointed.
Really? Well, I tell you what, man. I like their hits and shit. Everybody, we're all fucked up, so we like it. We're laughing at him taking off his shirt. I'm like, hey, everybody's like, we're going to get tatted up like that, goddamn.
Nice.
And then the black guys only brought it. You know what I'm saying? And then I like this show. But, I never seen a lot of halftime, so, when we got done playing. And
no, I guess not, yeah.
I don't know what the problem was. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what the problem was. The fucker saying all of his hits. What do you want, And
I think they were looking for reasons to dislike it, frankly. A lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because all the women were loving it because, it's this song. I didn't know he sang that. And I'm not even, I'm that guy you ride in a car with, and they're like, what did you just say? I seen the word wrong. I don't even know what the hell they're saying anyway. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that one dude's fur coat. I wish I was young again. I'd get one of those. So, or I wish I was still a black guy. That's what I was telling some guys there. Always this problem. See, you guys should wear that shit, and nobody say that because you're black. It's just black.
Oh, Joe Namath wore a fur coat all the time.
Yeah. Well, up where you're at, you probably see that kind of stuff. It's freaking cold all the time in my mind, because when I was up in Michigan, I've never felt that kind of cold in my life.
Yeah, I got minus 30 here today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every day is cold. Fat girls, boy, you go diving in looking for a fat girl on a pot of chili, and don't ever drink whiskey with you people. Don't drink whiskey. I just learned. Scotch or whiskey, don't do it. You guys can suck that shit all day long. I've been killed here, have some more, y'all down in the basement and shit, watch the TV.
Yeah, well,
anyway, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something though, Steve. I married an Indonesian girl. She can outdrink any of us. There's something in her metabolism. She just does not get drunk.
Oh, dude. In a lot of ways, it's nice. I'm getting my ass kicked. Because that's why I like the Chiefs. I grew up in Kansas. I'm from Kansas, and then traveled all the way over here to Oklahoma, and but we just got that new thing where we literally got 6-point beer finally. Well, we had it. You had to go buy it, but now 6-point beer is all we got. And down in Texas, all 6-point. God, I'm so used to that 3-2. I don't get my ass kicked here late. Gotta watch how many beers I drink.
Gonna bring it to Quebec. They got 10.1.
For about a 12-pack. What's that?
Gonna bring it to Quebec. They got Labatt's at 10.1.
Oh shit. Well, and the thing of it is, I always drink tequila now in Chavo, and I really like, well, he got me in Takata, and then not Takata, what's that? What beer? And then I drink a lot of Modelo. But shit, again, remember that's what we did was drink Mexican beer and tequila.
Well, bring up Chavo.
A shitload of cocaine.
Well, okay, Chavo and I did not do cocaine, but we did. When I met up with him to work on his book in San Antonio, so we were drinking a lot, and then I was doing a bunch of Zambuca, and then I woke up, and then I thought, oh God, I missed my flight to San Antonio, which I didn't because I was in San Antonio. And then I thought, oh my God, I read too many wrestler stories, and I thought, he must have shaved my eyebrows off, but he didn't. He took care of me.
Yeah. No, Chavo, fuck, he's the only guy I know, swear to God. And it happened to us twice. We what I mean? Mother-daughter teams. And only in that business. I can tell you stories that day. And then Chavo was like, I'm going to fuck your daughter in the ass. And she's like, okay. And then Chavo went on, what kind of mom are you? You just take it in the ass. My mom lets her daughter just take it in the ass. You know how Chavo is. And she didn't know it was working. I said, oh, okay, you can fuck me in the ass.
Oh, my God.
You know what? He said, they go, what kind of mom are you? And you should have seen her. No, these are finance in Houston. They're from Houston. And it was weird because they're wealthy. I mean, this lady had money out the wazoo. She'd always go slumming. She met Child at a strip club or something. And her daughter, but not once but twice, 2 different sets. Not once but twice, And I'm like, only with Chavo. You know what I mean? I can tell you some crazy shit,
Oh, you can't tell them all.
Just playing.
I came up with an idea. Chavo told me this awesome story that's in the book I wrote for him, where it actually works out for a perfect Disney movie. Where
this ought to be interesting.
No, it's this awesome thing that he told me about when he was so before he was a full-time wrestler, he was just working part-time for his dad. He was teaching at a high school and he's a wrestling coach. Yeah, in El Paso. And
El Paso. I bet some of his guys. Yes.
Yeah. So the story was he took over the team, and you ever see the movie Lean on Me?
Yeah, no, that's a true story. That would be good. You're right.
Yeah. So
I know the story.
Right. So
I heard it from you ought to talk to the kids.
I did. I talked to a couple of the kids about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I wrote the book.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an amazing story.
So, I mean, here's a story where he sort of takes a bunch of Hispanic kids. He kicks off all the cocky people from the team, that whole Lean on Me moment. Okay, you stink, get out. You're out of here. that was back in the day where he told me like he threw a teacher in the locker room who was disrespecting his kids, or no, in a locker, he locked him up. I guess you could get away with that in '72. You couldn't do it now.
Well, he can't do it now, right?
Yeah, but
No.
at the end of that 3-year period where he was teaching, they won state, or they won city, not state. They won city, where one of his top guys beat Hector.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if that's not a Disney movie, what is?
No, I'm telling you, man. But Chavo, that's where he's probably the most misunderstood. A lot of people got a very negative opinion about Chavo. And if you really know Chavo, he's got a heart of gold. He's a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable guy. You know what I mean? And he's done a lot of great things for a lot of people. But he never really talks about it. I just fell into it because we were having a hell of a party in El Paso. A bunch of these kids, they started talking, and, you know, I was in the kitchen with them, and they started telling me the story. They told me the story. Chavo never even told me the story. I didn't know the story until I had the kids tell me. That's how I first heard it.
Yeah.
And this kid literally, there was a kid crying what Chavo did, because he was like nothing, and nobody believed in me. You know, one of those things.
Yeah, it is.
I went in, I looked at Chavo, I go, you gotta be kidding me, man. And you know, but he did that. He had that article. I could go up and down the road with him, and many people had the same kind of story. Might be different, but Chavo was always there to help, make better, do things.
Absolutely. If he loved you, he loved you.
Oh, it's unreal. Well, that's why, yeah, he did. Got along. But Chavo always knew, like, shit, I never left him behind.
Yeah.
I remember we got the missing link to a chair in the ring, and it stabbed me pretty good. Fuck, everybody ran off and left Chavo. Why stay? We had no ride or nothing. Ended up hooking some rats, everything. And I'm drinking beer in the emergency room. I swear, it was funny as shit. You had to get stitched up and all that. These rats literally just drove us to the next show and all this shit. We literally are just fucking and sucking and coke. It was crazy. They had everything for us. And they were good looking young girls. Shit, they're only about 19, 20, and they quit their job. They got fired. But they said, fuck, we're going with you guys. And they stayed on the road with us for 2-3 weeks.
He told me this amazing story. It was him and, when he was feuding with Piper in L.A. And so Piper had a couple girls there. And then he sort of, like, jumped up. He went to Piper's place and then just went into, like, I guess he could just sort of like jumped into the window there. It's just like, and then the Piper saying like kayfabe, but then Piper just grabbed Chavo grabbed a mask. So like that way, you know, like they could just, well, I'll leave it at that. That's not in the book.
Yeah. Well, the best part is Chavo said, "You, no amigo, what makes you think it's me?" Shit.
Love it.
Why would you think it's me? Oh, hell no, you know. And but you know, Hector running around the hill, fuck, he never drank anything, but he'd be up at 6 in the morning, waking everybody up with shit, banging shit. You shouldn't party anyway. That's a whole different side of Mondo. You know, I know them all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I met Eddie when he was 17. I went to Corey's house. He never took a gringo there, let alone a hard worker. Corey was pissed because of all the cocaine he was doing, not taking care of business.
Mm.
And Gory's in there just chewing his ass. His mom come out, we're talking. And she kept looking at me. And she goes, usually not the kind of guy Chavo brings home. Well, you know. But, you know, I'm just good old country boys and shit. You know, I grew up around brown and black shit. Anyway, but it was hilarious. I had more fun with him. Crazy, though.
So we got a few more guys. You were mentioning Kansas City. So we talked about Tony Gonzales. I'm wondering if you remember watching Johnny Robinson as a kid, because he was a senior candidate who got in this year.
God, you know, I could have. You know, like I was saying. So wait, help me out here. Who did he play for?
Johnny Robinson was with Kansas City. He was a senior candidate, so he was like a 3-time AFL champion with Kansas City. I know I've seen him. I know I have, but it's not really. I was probably a kid. Well, that's why I said, yeah, like if you remember him as a kid, like because like I think he last played in 1971, but he was like a multi-time AFL All-Star. Like it's a great. Like it was someone he was a finalist many years, and then he finally got in this year, and he definitely belongs. And I'm wondering if you remember like watching him play, like. Oh, hello. Uh-oh.
Shit, I was 10, 11, 9, 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy was a coach there. What's his name? He only had the paper. But, because the first football game I ever seen, pro game, was in high school. And a football team, the Booster Club sent us up to see Kansas City play Cincinnati.
Mm.
And this was 77, I think it was. Anyway, they were both the shits, and nobody was there. But the fun part was we all go down behind the bench of Cincinnati and talked to the guys, got pictures. It was crazy. I mean, it was. And then when the game was over, they got us down on the field and all kinds of stuff. We're great guys taking care of, young high school football players. It was just kind of neat, and meet those guys. And we were really taken back by their size, and that kind of deal. Because I remember going from high school to college, man, god dang, that's a big jump size-wise. And athleticism, they're big, and you're like, I'll just outrun them. Well, shit, they can run as fast as you can, And, but that was the first game I ever seen, pro game. I've only seen a few, and because I had some guys play, Seattle Seahawks, St. Louis, that they were still playing when I got out, and I go to their games and stuff like that and give them tickets. And then guys I played with, Bob Babbage, he inducted who's a linebacker out of Chicago that just went, the bald-headed guy, the white dude.
Oh, Urlacher.
Yeah, he inducted Urlacher. I played with Bob Babbage. Lovey Smith, I played with him. And, I'd go up to Chicago and do the whole fun thing with Lovey. And then, God, who else? I got quite a few. Tom Blackman. He was at the Patriots for a long time. And then he got hired away just because, they wanted to find out what the Patriots are. They paid him goddamn stupid money. I don't know if he's glad he left or not. But, I had quite a few friends. And, I got a ton of buddies in college game. And I was actually going to follow Cooper over to Arizona. John Cooper, he left Tulsa, Arizona, and he went to Ohio State. And I was actually going to do the coaching thing, but shit, my wife now, we're still together. She didn't want to move or none of that, so I turned that down. And actually a strength and conditioning coach. Back then, we just worked out a local gym, and they didn't have they didn't have weight rooms like they do now. It's kind of an anomaly back then, when they just coming on board, how you change the look and size and all that of players.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, that was one of the things. But yeah, a lot of ways. Well, shit, yeah, that coaching profession. God dang, that's a hard life.
Oh, no
doubt.
doubt.
I look back, I'm kind of glad I didn't do that shit either. They're always moving every 3 to 5 years. If you're lucky, it could be every other year. You're going somewhere else, coaching. So.
Yeah, so we got.
That kind of a deal.
There's a few other ones who got in. Ty Law, New England Patriots, Super Bowl champion.
Right.
Another defensive back. Actually, this is a very defensive back heavy class.
Yeah. Well, and I'm telling you, it's the shift in the game, because like you're saying, the senior guy, remember, it was 3 yards of cloud of dust, and then they kind of went to the option. And, it really, Mouse Davis the one that kind of brought in that run and shoot, and God, who's down there with it? Who's the quarterback that was with the Buffalo Bills?
Jim Kelly? Yep.
He's, well, Mouse Davis and Jim Kelly is the one to kind of come up with that aired out ball, and it all started in USFL, and they were just trying to figure out how to make the game more entertaining for our fans. All that throwing the ball and all that fun shit. But yeah, in today's world, especially in the NFL, you got to have those DBs, especially your corners. Free and Strong, they got that jump. They got that 12, 15-yard depth. But your corners, God, they got to walk up on that stuff. And these corners nowadays getting their ass kicked by these 6'7", 6'9", 8 guys that can, basketball players almost that are playing receivers. Who's the guy that just signed up with the Cardinals? He's a prototype. Everybody's trying to find guys like him. But you got to have good corner guys. And I can see why corner. You're talking about your offensive lineman. Really the second most important job nowadays is your left tackle if it's a right-handed quarterback, or the right tackle if it's a left-handed quarterback. And a good friend of mine from the University of Tulsa, he played again for the Bills. He actually played 2 guys that played USFL, but Jerry Ostrowski, he made a shitload of money protecting Jim Kelly's backside. He was the left tackle. You see this guy, he's a monster. He's 6'3", he's from Pennsylvania. White dude, 6'3", and he played at 310. But, he's goddamn, those guys are highly paid. And your linemen now, the ones really making the money, and your DBs, backers are interchangeable, running backs. You get a new one every year. You follow me?
Yeah, totally.
I don't care what anybody say. Those guys, you get them just easier. Hell, receivers, same thing. And don't get me wrong, you got some good ones that really stand out, but overall, you get young up-and-comers. But your linemen, you got to develop, offensive linemen. And, your corners, quarterback, you know what I'm saying? And then a few others. But really, you can plug them in and out, talent-wise. But there's certain positions nowadays, they got to gel and really mature.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they got a lot more respect. Offensive line got probably more respect now than they ever have. Really. That shit, look at just the game on this Sunday. Shit, he never been sacked out of 100 quarters. I mean, it's crazy. They hadn't been sacked, and those guys are making some money because we're paying this guy a shitload of money. So, that kind of scenario going on.
Yeah, and
it's.
And it was reflected in actually this Hall of Fame too. Kevin Mawe, another offensive lineman, got in this year. He was one of 3 linemen who were nominated. And so, like the Pro Football Hall of Fame has always sort of respected that, even if the public doesn't.
Right, and it goes back to worker. I mean, because I tell you what, those guys, usually offensive linemen, that's probably the I think it is the longest, years in the business overall out of any position, your own lineman. Because like nose guards, it's only like 3 years, 2.8 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Linemen, your good ones, I think the average is like 8.6 or something like that. Longevity-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're our hardest to develop because the thing about your offensive line is you got to have 5 guys trying to stop 7, and they got to play together, and they all got to read from right to left. Because if my guy's doing this, they literally can go, this guy's doing that, this guy's because that's just football IQ. And they got to know when to give and shift. You never get beat on the inside. You got to take them over the top. You can't bite on something. The ball. It's an amazing thing to watch. And I played it. That's when I coach. Well, actually, I'm a linebacker coach now, but. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, Steve, tell people what you coach now.
What's that?
Tell the people what you're coaching now.
Oh, God, you know what? I got out of rehab. You know what I'm saying? In the wrestling game, you always, I don't care if you get out alive, you're going to rehab. It's one or the other. If you live in rehab, I went to rehab. I sold my company. I was in packaging, and I sold boxes, tape, major manufacturers. But anyway, so I decided to get in coaching and teaching. I didn't get along with administration after a while. 5 years I did that. We turned the program around. It was like 0-48. Third year, we're in the state playoffs. You know what I'm saying? We really turned around. In high school, it's getting these kids to drink the Kool-Aid and get some, play together. And in college, you got to have talent. I don't give a shit how much Kool-Aid you drink. In college, you better have guys who can play or they're going to get their ass kicked. But I left, and I literally left the company I was with, took a buyout, looked around what to do, and I fell back into the exact same high school, and now they're 0-56. and you're going to get out of this. I even go to the Razzle program. They had one, a guy hadn't placed in regionals in 10 years, and I'm taking over practice, and I figured out why. And I've been blessed. I got one of my sons down there helping me. He's a big Greco rolling around. I mean, he can throw, and so it's been, and they're terrible, and it's going back to, just teach these kids real simple shit. It's like, I'm going to teach real simple shit. We're going to get really good at it and get in great shape, and you're going to win a lot of matches, So I'm back with Tony Peters, a lot of young, that's pretty neat. I'm a little white guy. He's kind of weird. Yeah, it's always like that. But like I said, I always grew up around Bragg. I'm real comfortable. But so I'm back coaching and teaching. I'm glorified PE teacher. They filled in the pool down in this underneath part, put in a nice functional gym, and I'm teaching people how to work out and hopefully go out in the world and they can work in the gym game. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tie in with other goals and that type of places. Then we'll take my kids and help them be trainers or just start working in the gym game and fill their employment. So get them ready for the outside world, real world application type scenario. And that's what I'm doing now. And having a blast, but so that's been fun. And it's been a real good time. A lot of hard work. God, they're just, they're so bad. But we're like 53% Hispanic. But if we're going to do anything at this school, it's going to be on the wrestling mat. And again, like I said, I'm pretty good. I actually got recruited more for wrestling than I ever did football. Where they lost me back then was they wanted me to cut down to 167 pounds. I'm not going to drop that kind of weight, So, but, and, that really helped me out when I got in the pro wrestling game, though. To be, know how to wrestle pretty good. So that really paid off. They're not like high crotching on 400-pounder and flipping them over, letting them know, cut the shit, But that's what I'm doing now.
Nice.
I love it. It's a great time.
So there's a couple more first ballot, or one more first ballot inductee, Ed Reed, Baltimore Ravens. Any thoughts on that? Because I think he definitely should have been first ballot, and he was.
Well, no. Here's the nice part: is Baltimore Ravens. It's a relatively new franchise. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I say relative. It's been around a bit, but I just, he's a great draft choice. He's a great building block for their organization, and it paid off. I mean, I actually have a couple buddies that coach there. But, yeah, it's just, you can tell, and that's what makes his type of placement so nice is the fact that whoever drafted him and saw him, and we got him and put him in our organization. He was a long-term kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? And, it's a good pick overall. I think office could take credit for a guy like that along with the frontline personnel, That's what makes it pretty neat. Because draft picks, you know what I'm saying? Better what, it's hit and miss. You think they got it down and who to get, but there's been too many flops. So that's a good pick.
No, definitely. The only other person who's left who got in, and actually I want your take on a different sort of plane for that. The owner of the Denver Broncos, Pat Bowlen, got in. Pat stepped down as the CEO in 2014 due to Alzheimer's. He's still alive. And then last year, his wife, who was doing a lot of the speaking for him, announced bravely, very bravely, that she's also got that disease too. So, you've done sort of like the college, the pro. How important is a dedicated owner in pro football?
With the Broncos, with the Orange Crush back in my day, and John Elway doing what he's doing there. But, the owner's got to be behind it. Don't cut corners or when to spend money and when not to spend money. You got to be smart about. You got to be smart about what you do with your money and put the right people. Hopefully, you hire the right people and step back. Because look what happened with the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? It seems like the heavier. Their owner got. After their last Super Bowl, it seemed like the owner really started stepping in and doing a lot of hands-on on-field type of decision-making process. Well, shit, they never been back to the Super Bowl.
And incidentally, he's in the Hall of Fame, Jerry Jones.
No, yeah, but but it goes back to look where they're at, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to step back out. You know what I mean? He needs to pull back, in my mind. Jerry, just step away, hire the right people, just turn your back to everything, and just win or lose. And don't get me wrong, it'd be hard to do because that's his baby. You know what I'm saying? But at Denver, they a guy like that been allowed to do that. And again, like I said, to go back to the owner, when Trump bought his way into that USFL, he fucked it all up. So, because I still think, God dang, if they'd have kept spring ball from the 80s all the way up till now, you know how much everybody loves football.
Mm-hmm.
To have a spring league like that or a spring group playing, and they're also competing with the NFL, but they're not competing at the same time. You follow me?
Yeah.
God dang, it'd be big, because again, it goes back to it. Like yourself, you didn't realize we used to have major crowds. Probably the best game I ever played, nobody saw it, was John Elway and Marino when they out in LA Express, and I think the Houston one, not the Houston. You know what I mean? It was one of the greatest games I ever played in my mind, and nobody saw it. But in the end, as we gained momentum, we had a lot more people across the board, going to the games just because of the talent and the people brought in. But owners are everything. But on the flip side now, they're all white, they're billionaire, and there's a big push now to get more diversity, which I agree. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the Kilpatrick thing or this. I may not agree with it, but I'm a great teammate. If I got a guy that's got a problem, he kneels, I'm kneeling. You see what I'm saying? I don't know why I'll kneel if he kneels, but and it may sound pretty simplistic, but that's just playing on a team, that kind of scenario.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
but that didn't happen with Kaepernick, though. There's a lot of people who just didn't sort of join up with him, and
well, yeah, it goes back to I don't know if you saw that pic with Martin Luther King and Obama. That's a beautiful picture. Because, the black man's only been free for about 40 years. Think about it. They killed Martin Luther King. A white man killed Martin Luther King. Keep the black man down in, 60s, 68 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? And the black man's come a long way in a short amount of time. And people kind of got a short memory like, well, all things are all good, hunky-dory. But think about it, only 40 years the black man's been free. Really. But, and with Kilpatrick, that, cops really need to be real in because they're killing everybody. Down here, we got a war going on. And it started with war on drugs, then we're warring over Iraq, and then they brought over all that shit. And these guys got more weaponry than I've ever seen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got some shit going on around here. And it'll all shake out again. Because I even tell my sons, it's just yes sir, no sir, shut the fuck up. And you yes sir the hell out and get arrested, got to, we'll lawyer up. You can't back talk nobody anymore because these cops will kill you. Cops will kill you. Look, they come down to kid in Chicago. They finally got that one guy, but don't fuck with cops. They legally can murder you. And don't get me wrong. Thank God for cops. That's who I'm gonna call. My house gets broken into, and I wouldn't want to do the job. You see what I'm saying? On the flip side, but you don't fuck with a cop. Don't fuck with them. I don't care if you're right or I don't care. Listen to me. I want you home or at least get to jail or I get you out of there. And a lot of kids don't have that option of having a parent go, I'll bail you out. And I actually had my wife scream at me and my oldest son, if either one of you fuckers ever get arrested again, I'm not bailing you out. I've been arrested. But anyway, here and there, a little public drug assault battery, but,
Well, I have a clean record myself in this country.
Well, I'm telling you,
just this country.
I just like guys, but I'm real in tune with color. I've been around them my whole life. I grew up that way. As a matter of fact, I used to call my future wife. They really thought she was dating a black guy. My dialect was real heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging around in the jock dorm. I was just around black guys all the time. My roommate was Jewish. She came in, but Jew and a black guy, it was crazy. But I know what he's trying to say. It's like those black guys in the 60s raising their fist. They were right. We were wrong.
Yeah.
You guys are kidding. Shit. Hey, look at this shit. And they killed Martin Luther. God dang people. People just have short memories, I guess. But, that's why I see it. And thank God America hired, don't get me wrong, I never voted for Obama. just different policies.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of Cherokee in me. We're not big on government. No offense, but Indians aren't in the government. You know what I mean? Black men love the government, and I can see why. But I'm glad America, elected Obama, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Because there's still a lot of that, and I see it. So anyway, and with Kilpatrick and all that, I would hate that somebody kneel during the national anthem. I'm big on the military and all that, but on the flip side, that's my teammate. If he goes down, I go down. That's just the way it is.
Why do you think not very many people joined him? It's only a handful.
What's that?
Why do you think not very many people joined him?
The money's so big.
Hmm.
You really got, and you got to think about it. A lot of those guys are feeding their whole family. Those black dudes, they're really good. You see it, rappers, everybody. They bring their family with them. White folks would kick everybody to the curb and, change their number. And I'm not saying every white person, but you know what I'm saying? Those black guys are raising their whole family. They bought mama house. And, right or wrong, that's just the way it is. So, but, yeah. But I think, I look at it, and we come a long way, but it's just tough to tell a black man to pull himself up by the bootstraps when he ain't got fucking boots. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And my family's from dirt, but that family's from dirt. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're from they got, So, yeah, I know what you're saying. It could, and especially with the social media, that's another bad thing, but good thing, bad thing. You know what I'm saying? At least you don't have to go back to no more class reunions. You know what everybody's up to. Yeah, that kind of a deal. So, but anyway, is that about it? I'm not ready to.
We covered everyone there. If anyone wants to follow you, how can they do so?
I'll just go on Facebook, Steve Cox, you know what I'm saying? And I'm the guy that got my old wrestling pick up with a mullet. Yes, I love my mullet. Hey, that's funny. You see a ton of offensive linemen wearing mullets now. These kids, it's coming back. The mullet is coming back.
You don't have one anymore, though.
No, I don't have it now. No. Here's the nice part, though. I still got a big full head of hair.
I was actually looking. And, I was looking you up just to see the most recent picture I could find, and yeah, you've kept all your hair. It's incredible.
Oh, you talk about dudes getting busy with you. You know what I mean? And their wives run their fingers through your hair, but I keep telling them lower. But yeah, I'm bad.
You and I have totally different sort of circles. I never have that issue.
Yeah, but it's just funny. But yeah, and thanks for calling me up and let me do this. It's been fun. Thank you.
No, I really enjoyed it, and I'm sort of glad we reconnected since the first time we spoke.
Yeah. Well, and I get to talk travel. You know what I'm saying? Travel like I do. See, a lot of people, I've just really closed off about the business anymore. I'm just a washed up, old, tired, don't know shit about the business kind of guy. You know what I mean? And
I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, I hear it. Well, yeah. Well, I hear a lot, and I don't really care. But like Chavo said, though, but you almost don't want to tell me you're a pro wrestler anymore. And but anyway. But thank you. If you need anything else, give me a holler.
Absolutely, for sure. This has been a lot of fun.
It was good. Hey, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. All right. Thanks so much, and I'm sure we'll be talking again.
All right. Bye-bye.